Delighted to welcome onto the show for the very first time. This man's obviously been in the sidelines with an injury for the last 10 months, but he's looking to get back in there soon. It is Mr. Michael Chiesa, one of the top-ranked lightweights in the world. Michael, first of all, great to have you on the show. How's all with you, my friend? You keeping well?
Everything's good, man. Body recovered very well. I opted out of back surgery. I'm too young for that. And, I found some alternative ways to get myself recuperated, and now I'm just ready to get back in the octagon.
What exactly have you done, Michael, in relation? You mentioned that you didn't want to have surgery there. What's been the exact recuperation and rehabilitation you've done with your body?
I did a lot of aggressive physical therapy. For about 7 weeks, I was doing physical therapy almost every day, a lot of work in the pool. Once I got cleared to come back and start doing some stuff, I did a lot of things in the pool just to keep the weight off my back and just keep the load off of that, the disc that was just aggressively ruptured. So, my back feels good. My mobility is just the same as it was before, and it's actually gotten better now. As I've gotten older, I've just realized it's time for me to do more maintenance on my body. I've started doing yoga and a lot more stretching and a lot more massages, just more maintenance on my body. It was just a good wake-up call for me. It was unfortunate that I had to pull out of that Tony Ferguson fight, but, I learned a lot about myself and about my body and where my limitations are now. And honestly, my body's in better condition now than it was before.
So effectively, instead of actually having a negative effect on your training and your body, it's actually had a positive effect because of the things that you brought into your training.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only negative to it was the amount of time that I had to take off and losing out on that Tony Ferguson fight. But I'm still young. I'm still relevant. And, I'm going to get right back up into fighting these, the number 3, 2, and 1 guys. And ultimately, I'd like to end my year as the number 1 contender in the lightweight division.
Yeah, you've obviously, we'll get to Eddie Alvarez in a minute. I know you've been having a back and forth on Twitter. He responded yesterday on Ariel's show. I want to just get your thoughts, first of all, on what happened last Friday. You being a lightweight, the whole situation, you were a guy supposed to fight Tony Ferguson in the past. What was your take on Khabib missing weight on Friday?
In Las Vegas last Friday when everything went down, I immediately shot a text to Dana and I said, let's do this. I'm here. If I can fill in, I'll do it. If not, this is a good opportunity to try and set up that Ferguson fight again. And obviously Michael Johnson was the better candidate, and I can see why. I wasn't weight-wise, I wasn't as small as Michael.
Yeah.
I'm about 190, but when I'm 190, I'm in shape. That doesn't mean I'm 190 now. I'm out of tune. And you got this dork, Eddie Alvarez, that sends out a tweet, I'm 185, shredded and ready to go, send me a flight. And it's like, dude, you're 5'6". If you're 185 and you're 5'6", you are not in shape. You know what I mean? I refuse to believe that. That guy is just a little short stump. He's sitting there saying he's 185, ready to go. It's like, dude, I'm almost 6'2". Me being 190, I'm in a much better shape than you are. So the fact that he even threw his name out in the hat was childish. Not to mention he lives all the way in Philadelphia, so it's like they're going to get you a flight all the way over to Las Vegas so you can fight coming off a loss. So, it was, I'm good buddies with Michael Johnson. He deserves, he beat Ferguson once. They tried to set the fight up again. Didn't happen. So, obviously he was the candidate, but, I still threw my name out in the hat. I was more than ready and willing to get out there and scrap, especially when you got 12 pounds of gold on the line. So, it is what it is, but ultimately, most importantly, I want to say I'm glad that Khabib's okay. He's a good guy, and it's just unfortunate that us fans were shorted on getting to see the best lightweight fight in the history of the division.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was calling it on our show last week. It was one of the greatest matchups of all time in the lightweight division, if not the greatest. Why do you want Eddie Alvarez so badly? Is there a reason why you want Eddie so badly?
It's just a fight that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm coming off a long injury layoff. He's coming off a loss. And if you heard him on Ariel's show last night, his answers were so transparent. I mean, you got a guy that's sitting there saying, first and foremost, when he's talking about opponents that were offered, he's like sub-ultimate fighter guy. It's like, dude, you know who I am. I'm ranked 8th in the division. I've finished as many guys in the UFC as you've had UFC fights. I've got 5 finishes. You only have 5 fights. You're 3-2. I'm a 5-time bonus winner. You only have 5 UFC fights. You're 3-2. You're the most overpaid chump in the UFC. You're 3-2. I don't care who you fought and How bad do you think you are? This guy's ducking me. He's sitting there saying he doesn't want to go that far back. He's going to take the fight with Poirier. But it's like, dude, I'm ranked 8th. He's ranked 10th. Yeah. That makes no sense. You make no sense. You know who I am. Quit acting like you don't. You're lying to the people. You're being a fraud. Step up and fight me. And if he doesn't want to fight me, I don't blame him. If I was a little short stump with him with little well-groomed eyebrows, I'd probably duck me too, because I'm going to body lock that dude, drag him to the floor, and choke him just like Mike Chandler did. So, you know what? I don't blame him if he doesn't want to take the fight, but if he's man enough, he's going to step up. We're going to fight on May 13th, and we can settle the score. And if he beats me, then so be it. But at least he showed up, you know. And then Poirier's jumping in, talking shit. I actually like Dustin. First and foremost, I want to say I like the guy. He thinks I'm avoiding him, and I'm not avoiding you, Dustin. You won one fight. In your last 2 fights, you won one fight. You just got knocked out by Michael Johnson. And the guy that you fought, the guy that I finished, he had a split decision war. Dustin's a badass dude. He's a good fighter, and there's not a man on God's green earth that walks on 2 damn feet that I would ever avoid a fist fight with. Yeah. That's for damn sure. So I'm not ducking anybody. I'm just trying to find the most relevant fight for me at this point in time. And to me, that's Eddie Alvarez. If it doesn't work out, I'll move on. I'll find someone else. You know, but that's what my sights are set on. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Do you think that it's a disrespect thing from Eddie, or is an unwillingness to fight you?
I think that he's trying to downplay me because he doesn't want to fight me. I had a lot of people listen to that show, a lot of people that are higher up in the media world, that are journalists for major MMA sites, that all listened in on that, and they were all like, dude, that was so transparent. That guy knows who you are. He's just downplaying me. He doesn't want to fight me. You know what I mean? If I was him, I'd want to fight Poirier too. And to be honest with you, Poirier is a tough-ass fight for anybody. So it's like, you know, for him trying to sit there and say that he doesn't want to go that far back by fighting me because he has nothing to gain, and then trying to say that, well, I want to fight Poirier instead. It's like, dude, I'm ranked higher. I'm on a 3-fight win streak. I've won 5 of my last 6. I've bonused in my last 2 fights. If you put my tough fights on my record too, I'm 11-2 in the UFC. Yeah. When he's sitting there saying I beat nobody, it's like, dude, I beat Jim Miller, who's got the most, aside from Cowboy Cerrone, he's got the most wins at lightweight.
Do you feel
both fights at lightweight? I beat Beneil Dariush, a guy that was, you know, he was ranked 7th in the world ahead of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't say I haven't beat anybody. Don't say I haven't fought anybody. Don't act like you don't know who I am, because motherfucker, you know who I am. You're lying to the people. You're being a fraud. Just be honest. You can just say, well, I'm not really interested in fighting that guy. I know who he is. I don't want to fight him, you know? And I should be so upset about it. I should be flattered that a former world champion, whom I used to respect a lot, is avoiding a fight with me. I should be flattered, but instead I'm pissed off because I want to deliver. I want to give the fans what they want to see. I want to give them a good fight.
Well, obviously, there was frustration for you watching, you know, Tony Ferguson. You were supposed to have that Tony Ferguson fight. And seeing Tony, a guy who's come from a very similar background to you, he's come up from The Ultimate Fighter as well, winning The Ultimate Fighter. You know, how was that, watching that on at the weekend? Is there a built-up frustration because you haven't fought in so long?
Yeah, you know, it is frustrating. I haven't fought in a while, but you know, and it's the nature of the beast, man. When you train as hard as I do and you keep it honest, you know what I mean. I'm one of the few fighters in the game that haven't put their hands on performance-enhancing drugs. I don't recover as fast as a lot of these cheaters. And I put just as much work in as they do. So, you know, I knew that my body was bound to take a crap on me at some point. And unfortunately, it did. And the timing was bad. It was right before the fight that I wanted, a real big fight. It was good for everybody. You know, I actually didn't watch the fight. I was pretty devastated, you know what I mean? And I have no disdain towards Tony Ferguson over it. It's not his fault. You know, it was pretty cool to see Lando. You know, I went back and watched the highlights.
It was a great fight.
To see Lando come out there in his UFC debut and almost beat the guy. But, you know, I was more just frustrated that, you know, I wish I could have just made it to the fight, even if I was injured. But the fact of the matter is, I couldn't walk for almost a week. Yeah. I couldn't feel my leg. I couldn't feel my right leg for a month. My sciatic nerve was so pitched off. And, you know, I've limped into fights. I had knee surgery 5 weeks before my first UFC fight, UFC 157. Wow. You know what I mean? So I'm no stranger to going in there, you know, wounded, but you know, this was one of those injuries where there was no way I could even wait. You know, I could hardly walk. So, you know, it was just unfortunate.
You're looking. It's been UFC 211 in Dallas. Is that the fight card you want to be on?
You know, UFC UFC 211. For the timing. For Eddie wants to fight. That's when he wants to fight. And I think for me and him, that's just a good date. And if Dustin gets the fight, then good for him. I'll be tuning in. But hopefully, hopefully I get the fight with Eddie on that date. And if I don't, then we're gonna work out a different opponent. And if it happens to fall on UFC 211, then so be it. I really want to be on a big card. I want to be on the main card. In the time that I've been gone, I've worked on so much stuff, dude. I'm not the same guy I was before. I've got a lot of different weapons. I've got a lot of things I want to showcase. And I want it to be on a big platform so I can make a statement.
Where have you worked most? What's been, obviously we know how good your ground game is. What has been the major improvements you feel?
I've made more improvements in my ground game. I spent some time training in Michigan, learned a lot of good things while I was out there. James Gray, it's Amanda Bobby Cooper's coach.
Yeah.
This guy's a phenomenal brain when it comes to mixed martial arts, and I worked with him a lot. And I definitely, as always, worked a lot on my striking, made improvements to my wrestling game, and more than anything, it's been my striking. It's been coming along for a long time. When people think I'm a one-trick pony, it's like, dude, I'm like the only guy to put Jorge Masvidal on his ass 2 times in a round. You know what I mean? I've got hands. I've always had stand-up, but I've made some drastic improvements in there that the next guy I compete against, dude, I got a whole new – I'm not the same guy I was before. I got a whole new bag of tricks I'm going to come out with. I'm going to wow some people. I want to make waves. I just want to be on a big stage. I want to be on a big stage. I want all eyes on me. And, I want to show the world that, that I'm back. I'm better than I was before. And I'm here to stake my claim as the next lightweight contender.
Have your management talked at all about with the UFC about the Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I mean, we've been all about it, and they love the fight. Everybody loves the fight. It's just, rightfully so. Eddie's a former champion. He's ranked higher than me. Ultimately he gets to choose. So he's choosing not to fight me. It's all on him. You know what I mean? It's not on me. It's not on my management. It's not on the UFC. Everyone likes to fight, but him. So it's just a matter of him stepping up and signing on the dotted line. And if he doesn't, I'll still be tuning in and watching. And I hope Dustin beats him. You know what I mean? I hope he wins.
Yeah.
Even though me and Dustin are going back and forth, taking snipes at each other on Twitter, I still got nothing but love for the guy. Here's the thing. Eddie's on his way out. You know what I mean? As much as I don't want to say it, I'm going to use him as a stepping stone. The guy's number 3 in the world. He's, 33, 34 years old. He's on his way out. Me and Dustin, we're going to fight sooner or later, inevitably.
Yeah.
He's young. I'm young. We're going to fight someday. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean? There's no way to avoid it, and I welcome it with open arms. You know what I mean? We'll have a good fight. I'll win. It'll be a good evening. But
it seems to me that you're so focused on Eddie Alvarez that another opponent wouldn't really do for you at the moment. Is that fair to say?
No, man, anybody's going to get me going. Listen, man, when you got to compete against a guy with those 4-ounce gloves, it's if you can't get up and get to training and have that edge that you need to compete, then you should just retire. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm fighting Conor McGregor. It doesn't matter if I'm fighting Eddie Alvarez. It doesn't matter if I'm fighting anybody. I'm still going to approach my training the same way. I'm still going to be on edge just as much as I would anybody else. Like I said, there is a man that walks God's green earth on 2 feet that shakes a stitch of fear into me. But I will give any man that competes in the octagon their respect and understand that it's any man's game. When that cage door closes, it's anybody's fight. So, I will always do everything in my power when I train, whether I'm fighting the last ranked guy to the champion. I will train just the same as I would for any other guy, and I will have that same edge for any other guy. So that's kind of my mentality going into these fights.
So just a couple more for you. Do appreciate the time. If it isn't Eddie Alvarez, who is it? Does it have to be someone ranked in front of you?
I would like that, but as we've seen in the recent events in terms of matchups, rankings really don't matter anymore.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So I'm just going to look and see who my options are and, make the best choice. I like the idea of a Joe Lozon rematch if he's game for it. Just, there was some controversy around our fight.
Definitely,
and,
100%.
He's been looking good as of late, and, that's still a fun, relevant fight. It just depends, you know what I mean? So it depends on the opponents that I'm offered and who makes the most sense. I got to make, these choices you make are very detrimental. Ultimately, you got to think that you're going to fight
Yeah.
everybody no matter what. But this first fight going forward, I'm being tactical.
100%. Just any final words for Mr. Alvarez? Why this fight should go down? It's definitely a fight I'd like to see go down as well.
Eddie, just take the damn fight. I'm ranked 8th in the world. I'm on a win streak. I guarantee you, if you fight me, you'll probably get a bonus fight of the night, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm an exciting fighter. I'm relevant. I shouldn't even send the guy a message. I've sent enough. I've said enough to him. I know he's read my tweets. I know he knows who I am. And if you want to take a relevant fight, I'm your Huckleberry. If not, then I'm guaranteed he's going to move on anyways. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight me. He doesn't want any of this. So it's whatever, man. I'll, if he doesn't take the fight, I'll move on. But most importantly, fuck that guy. I want to say I love my mom. I love my family. Daniel Rubenstein, he's the best manager in the game. Big ups to him and my coach, Rick Little. And Diaz 1, 2, 3, 5.
Awesome stuff. Michael, it's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. I'm looking forward to seeing you get back in there as well, and hope everything goes to plan to get you get the fight that you're after. And I do appreciate the time again, my friend.
Thank you, sir.